through that thing where you talk about things rather than write it down.
Oral tradition.
Yeah, oral tradition.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is that the Ainu were people of their own, and given their family, well, when I say family, it's more like a racial technique. I wouldn't be surprised if they've just moved off elsewhere.
Moved elsewhere.
Mm. So, I suppose you're wanting to know what this power is. Perhaps it might answer some of your questions.
Yeah, please.
Well, it's a ability that has been lost to us, unfortunately. But given the strength of it, it might be a boon that it is lost. But the Irony were known for their ability to manipulate time.
Huh?
Well, there's many ways you can manipulate times. You can pull it at the seams to see what's ahead in the future, or go back to the past and set rights to wrongs, or you could look at it laterally, and you could see other worlds amongst the spectrum, similar to a spectrum of light. There's different wavelengths, and that most of our eyes can only see one.
Well, that explains a lot.
It does.
Yeah. How did these people not just stick around if they were this powerful?
Well, think about it this way: if you have a treasured gem, then most people they adore it, and they want it for themselves. And while the Ainu had very powerful abilities, there's only so many of them and the rest of the world. It wasn't. It's a blot across our nation, but many were taken for experimentation or used within the wars. The Russian-Japanese War, for example, had terrible consequences.
Is that the one with the railroad?
Right.
Oh,
right.
shit.
But the point is that if you are a treasure, then treasures are coveted.
Yeah. Jeez. Okay.
But you did mention something before that the information I've given you made more sense.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell me now, because otherwise I would be grievously offended. But you're going to tell me more about Suzuka.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suppose that's fair.
When it comes to your mystery benefactor, that I don't have a personal stake in that, and truth to be told, I'd rather keep things within the family. And keeping things within the family, Suzuka is part of our family.
Technically.
She'll just kind of scowl when you say that.
Sorry, I didn't mean that as a slight. That situation seems a little messy.
So tell me about her abilities then.
Well, I mean, the timey-wimey sort of reality thing, that one.
Mm-hmm.
I know, it's such a mess. So, recently, I mean, I'm sure she wouldn't be too offended if you knew.
Well, if she wanted me to know, she would have informed me as soon as she realized this.
Hey, you know how she is. You kind of gotta push her a little bit to know things. She's, happy to keep to herself a lot. Even if it's not for the best.
I see. So that's what this school has done. Right.
Was she not always like that? I mean, she's been a lot different since the whole incident with 3A, so she's probably going through a lot, and she's not easy to always talk to about it. You kind of have to really work your way in there.
Katsumi will sigh and she'll say that you can finish telling me later. I have a lot to process. And then she'll just get up and she'll dust off her skirt and she'll pick up her bags and be like, I'll need to decompress. I'll see you later, Kazuhaya.
Yeah, that's
I've learned
good.
a lot this day.
Hey, I'm... Listen, I'll tell you what you need to know. I just want the best for her, so... Yeah. Tell me whenever you need to know something, and we can try. Thanks for helping me. I hope I helped you. Well, I know it's a lot to do.
She'll just say that, well, there's a difference between you and me, is that, and that difference is very poignant right now, if you'll excuse me. And then she'll just walk off.
All I gotta say is, wahoo! Raph isn't the worst in the conversation with her at this point.
Hey, this isn't Akira's fault. This is Shizuka's fault. Just pointing out.
Sure, blame other people.
Akira's being the good person. Akira's trying to catch her up, and you can't say Akira's bad. Akira's a fucking... Sure, Akira's doing the bad work, but Akira's trying to fix the mistakes of someone else. Listen, I know how this is gonna go.
What point in your head did you think that was a good idea? At what point?
I know, but Akira thinks that she needs to know, and she doesn't want to lie to her about that.
You just need to replay this scene for the definition of cucked.
I know it's bad.
Alright.
I'm sorry. I didn't know she was trying to fuck up. Yeah, her adopted sister. Yeah.
But she's gone completely and totally out of her way to completely ignore, yes.
I know. Hey, I'm just saying, Katsumi wants to be better friends with Shizuka. She could have put a lot more effort in it. Just saying.
Alright.
Hey, all I gotta say is thanks for getting me out of that doghouse.
Well, that helped her after the one. Put her on a different subject. I guess she'd ask Sugihara. This is just to like if he has any work they'll have to do. I think it's the class of Fridays, right? Is that Saturday?
On Fridays and Saturdays, you're with Sugi Dugi.
She's gonna say that she's doing a bit of the investigation on the current situation, and if she's kind of burnt out from tomorrow, if he could give her some papers at home that she could do it.
I can barely hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, she's saying she's gonna she might be burnt out from doing some investigation. And get that. If he has anything they'll be doing, he could give to her. She'll take it now or do it later. Try to instead of just skipping out and not doing it.
I don't know if it's me, but you're kind of bouncing there in terms
Same
of
here.
volume.
You're not cutting out, but your voice level is going like up, down, up, down.
I mean, I heard it like once I could hear it the second time. It's just that when you started talking, it just went whoop.
It's really weird. Okay, it looks like it's on the right level. Am I good now?
Yeah.
It's when you talk continuously, it starts going down.
So if I keep talking like this, it keeps going up and down and weird and up and down and weird and up and down and weird and up and down.
Actually, that came out fine.
Okay, I don't know. I might have just been talking weird. My bad.
Alright. So I guess last would be Ryu on his magical adventure.
Well, I'm not last, but yes.
What about?
Because there's still
okay.
Reiko and her adventures with Shin.
Whoops! Alright.
Forget the new guy already. Got it.
And I wanted to say, oi, don't forget about me.
Oh, just say it.
Everybody gets their turn of being forgotten, alright?
Yeah, I get a lot! No, I'm just kidding.
Like hell.
Alright, let me open my file.
Oh.
18 for butter. Alright. Then. Alright, that she's not here. And then. Alright. Alright, so. So. Alright, so are you going anywhere in particular?
In particular, probably not.
Alright, so I guess as you're walking around, I guess you kind of feel like I'll see if you feel anything. Cut my leg into pieces. Alright, okay, you kind of feel like a few hungry looks looking your way, but they're kind of in a crowd. You know, the same kind of hunger for like kind of like the hunger that Asterion had at the tower, stuff like that.
From the gals or the guys?
Well, they're both men and well, girls and boys, and walking around. So
Ryu will see if he can't try and locate those the feeling that he's feeling. What he's sensing.
Alright. So you don't know whether it's part of like people just moving out of the crowd, but if you try to go near people, they'll just move away. They'll like shuffle away. Like they're giving you distance on purpose.
Right. Ryu will try and figure out what exactly is going on with this. Try and see if he can locate someone who might be causing something like this.
Alright, so I guess Vitalia will say, I suppose you're like decomposing meat in a pack of vultures that are chained. At this rate, you might find that the prey will come to you.
As long as it's not in too great numbers, that probably wouldn't be a bad thing.
Perhaps that you can bolster your numbers through some wordplay. The way that you stick out as an easy target is not because they know about your inherent ability, rather that they see you as you're bleeding and you haven't stemmed the bleeding. And you know what bleeding I'm talking about, don't you?
More than likely. So how would I stem it?
Well, it's quite simple. If it was me in your position, I would set up the situation where you are the victim and a victim of these terrible people attacking you. You know what happened when gang mentality forms up between you and your peers? That was quite the sport we had before. Same that the doves were released.
Interesting. Alright. Not used to playing the victim, though. I prefer to be the predator, but...
You do realize that in order to get the big prize, you keep your ears to the ground.
Yes. So I think to some extent maybe what we need is information. Can you locate someone who maybe might know something about what's going on that we can get a loan?
Well, the gal that you met is out of town, unfortunately. You could use the the scared kid. He his levels are lower than yours, but it might add to the temptation. 2 for 1 after all. As
Hmm.
as for people who might know, I'm afraid we're not in the position to exercise our command to bring somebody forward.
You're probably right about that. All right. Let's see if the scared one has something of use. And Ryu will go see about trying to locate Hamato.
Alright. So you figured the best bet would be the library, and lo and behold, he's in the library.
Surprise, surprise. I take it he's sitting reading a book.
Yeah.
Ryu will then just go and sit opposite him.
Hamato will look around. The library isn't exactly packed. You'll be like, hi.
It's been a while, Hamato. I hear you dropped out of the kendo class.
Yeah, the fighting kind of made the blood boil.
Right, so tell me, what exactly are you doing for sports then? Because I seem to remember that you needed it for your scholarship.
Well, I've spoken with Mr. Iske and Fuma-san, and I've applied to take a retest for more academic scholarship. So that test will be soon, and I'm studying.
Or issues with athletics, that you would more be trying to work on that than your knowledge. I mean, you did fairly well with that to begin with.
Well, the path I want to take is less about fighting and more about, like, educating myself.
Oh, I have no doubt about that. But it won't help you if you run into the same issues again, will it not?
Says, well, if I was alone, then no, I wouldn't last very long. But you may surprise you, but there are people who have been willing to stay by my side when the when the pill is in its low period.
Interesting from someone who abandoned those around him.
Listen, you guys were nice and all, but I don't want to drag you into that. And you're a fresh start. I mean, back then I did all kind of crazy stuff because Shin told me that I could do it.
Oh, the fact that you left us is, to be quite honest, not all that surprising, nor does it matter. It's the method with which you did it that I have the most issue with.
I mean, hey, I'm not really much of a talker. I figured that I was best able to get the point across with a letter.
So then, if you're going down the education route, how are you going to do that if you can't communicate with others?
He'll just kind of look down and he'll say that there is one thing that is true. Tell me, do you ever think about the drawing that you got?
The drawing that I got.
Yes, from Shishin.
Do you mean the tarot cards or something else? Because I don't remember him giving me any specific drawings.
No, when you draw the cards from the pack, that's what I meant. I'm talking about those damned cards. Yes.
Oh, those. I don't think about them much. I mean, what is there to think about? It's a possibility, not a certainty.
Right. Right. When it comes to the future card, that certainly isn't a certainty. That's the one thing you didn't grasp a hold of. But no, no. Do you know much about the tarot system?
No, I always considered it mumbo jumbo, and I still, for the most part, don't see any point in future seeing things, considering the future is always in flux.
Right. Right. Well, I can tell you what card I drew. I drew the Hermit, and before you make the joke, my bad, the joke about me being holed up, it's not necessarily about that. No, a, the Hermit takes his journey in isolation, and he goes on the path, and at the end of the path is enlightenment. So, what you can say is that, yes, I'm not a people person, but that was the way I was made to be. And I will have to take journeys alone, at least mentally alone. Physically, I can't be without somebody else, otherwise I'm an easy target.
Right. And I'm the devil. From what I understand, it's about one who constantly binds himself. Yet according to the future card, I'll get over that. So what's to say that you can't get over being constantly by yourself?
That is one way my future may play out, but at the end of the day, we're given a cage to run around with. It's whether we tire ourselves out or we defeat the cage.
So you would prefer to actually prove him right than prove him wrong?
No, what I want is peace of mind. And if it means taking the damn fucking path, that means I'll do it. But I appreciate your concern.
Well, I have to admit, there's something of an ulterior motive to all of this.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Otherwise, I imagine we'd have frequent conversations.
Maybe. But apparently, as you've once said about being alone being a target, apparently they're now getting hungry because they can no longer locate you, I guess, or others like you.
Oh, you're talking about people wishing to step up the social ladder.
Yes, somewhat. And seeing in that particular case, you fear for your safety, and I am more interested in seeing what exactly they're capable of. I figured a compromise might be in order with us.
A compromise? I've done nothing wrong so far. At least that I know of recently.
I'd say in this particular case, you made one mistake that made you a target. Whether anything of that particular case comes from it or not, well, we'll just have to see.
My my time allotment is going to end soon, but as far as I'm aware, I'm just a whisper in a cacophony of sound. I haven't had the gaze lately.
Interesting. Well, I was more going to say an offerment of, you seem to know a little bit more about what's going on than I do, so I was going to offer a trade. You you get me information that you can, and I'll offer protection of sorts, in case you need someone to help you.
Right. Well. Well, I won't. I won't turn you down. That would be terrible of me. But I'll tell you what I know. But I kind of backed out at the beginning, so I only really know about the beginning.
Well, still better. My knowledge mostly is what I've been able to pick up from others, so I can't say I know too much.
Right. So, with the knowledge, there's always too much. You need to pinpoint exactly what you wish to know. That way, it's more helpful.
Possibly. So let's go with something simple, though maybe a little too dark. Let's go with the crystallization.
Well, I'm assuming you didn't know about this when you made the deal, same as I didn't know about this.
No, I had to learn about it from someone who specializes in using the crystals.
I see. Well, what use do you want from these crystals?
What other use is there other than keeping one from being taken from having one being turned into it?
Well, think about it this way. You've heard about focuses, right?
Yes.
Well, if you have power and it's condensed, you can fit a lot of it in a small space, right?
Right.
I'll think about it as crystals as condensed power, and the reason they're crystals is because it's a popular iconography. I suppose that's been told to you before.
That I didn't know, but it kind of makes sense.
All of this power that we have to make these myths, there's a difference between us and people who stumble upon this, is that it's like we're a generation that has been developed over, especially in this country, a generation that have just been developed to be mythopoetics. So of course we're more efficient at doing what we do. So we're more condensed as a result. It's more likely for us to be influenced by deals. So the point is that you right now, you might as well say that you're a walking crystal right now, a huge dense one, and that makes you very, very attractive.
I say he was done with the games. Come on, Amano.
Beat me to it.
Yeah, I know. Low-hanging fruit's the tastiest because it's so ripe it weighs the tree down. I'm a fucking poet, dude. Check my prose.
Alright then, let's go with, since that's useful information, let's go with something. How does having the crystallization affect someone if it doesn't take their life?
So, well, you can be merciful and simply take away limbs that aren't needed for the body to survive. You can essentially paralyze somebody. Though I don't suppose what the point of living is back then when your autonomy is taken from you. There is one particular fellow who's an expert at regrowing body limbs. Though you probably don't want to run into him.
Yes. I'd rather not run into a human starfish.
There's a lot of fucked up people out there, you know. If you really want to do this, I mean, who am I to judge you? I'm the one who stupidly went into it.
Oh, don't Don't think of it that way. Think of it as essentially learning how to protect oneself. There's always someone stronger, someone fucked up, someone worse.
I get the feeling your version of protection is like taking the spoils from protecting yourself. The self-defense defense.
Proactive.
I more think of it as eventually we're going to be running into those that do not have the same morals as we do, and as such are going to come at us in ways we do not comprehend. So we essentially have to learn how to protect ourselves.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
heck, look what happened when we messed with 3A.
So essentially you want to make a bait and switch then. You want to set yourself as a tasty morsel and then get something for when the stragglers come after you.
Something like,
Protections.
yes, something like that.
He'll just sigh and he'll say, I mean, at the end of the day, you really gonna take the crystal from them?
It depends on who the person is. I mean, if we're talking about someone who's much in a similar way or being forced into it, then maybe other things can be, they can be persuaded in other ways, but after all, who can say who's going to attack us?